Brock Purdy, aka Purdy Good. Man, does this guy keep winning or what? Just a great story to tell about Brock Purdy. This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Brock Purdy having another great game for the 49ers as they are now 10-3 on the season. The 49ers have all but clinched the NFC West division as they are currently the #1 seed in the NFC right now. Brock Purdy has played so well to the point where they are now the favorites to reach the Super Bowl from the NFC side. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So here it is. Can Brock Purdy take the 49ers to the Super Bowl this season? Honestly, I'm seeing a yes in this question, but that is going to be dependent on whether or not the San Francisco 49ers get the #1 seed in the NFC, because right now in the NFC, there is a 4-team race for the #1 seed. I really think it's more of a 3-team race, but for the people that want to know who are the contenders for the #1 seed in the NFC, it includes the San Francisco 49ers, it includes the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, you got to throw in the Detroit Lions, and then there's the Philadelphia Eagles involved in it as well. When you look at the NFC playoff standings, there's not really a lot of legitimate playoff contenders in there because a lot of the teams in the NFC are just simply not good enough to compete come playoff time. I'm seeing teams like the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers occupy the last 2 spots in the NFC playoff picture. Now I'm thinking those teams are not playoff caliber, particularly the Minnesota Vikings. Did you guys not see how the Vikings had to edge out a 3-0 victory against a backup quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders, where they had to win the game 3-0 because their kicker made a kick late in the game, making it 3-0, and they have to start Nick Mullins now at quarterback because Kirk Cousins is out for the year. Jaren Hall got a concussion and lost his starting job. Then Josh Dobbs came in. He did a little bit when he first came in, but now he's not good anymore, so now they have to play Nick Mullins. Now he gets benched. And then you got the Green Bay Packers, where yes, Jordan Love has been playing really good football, and I told you guys that would happen before the season started, but the roster around Jordan Love is simply not very good. But when you look at the NFC, you have to think it's not very deep at all. But when you talk about the contenders for the #1 seed, obviously you got to say the Dallas Cowboys are the biggest threats to the San Francisco 49ers because of the fact that the Cowboys are leading the NFC East right now, and because of the fact that the Cowboys are unstoppable at home. Everybody knows that the Dallas Cowboys get the #1 seed, they're going to the Super Bowl this year. And this is not coming from a Cowboys fan. I am not a Cowboy fan at all, but I am smart enough to know that when the Cowboys have the home field advantage, they are going to win every single game because they just dominate opponents at Jerry World. Jerry World has quietly become the NFL's biggest home field advantage because whenever the Cowboys play at home, they don't lose at home. When you talk about the Dallas Cowboys playing football at Jerry World, they just know how to make good stops on defense and score points offensively. Dak Prescott to me is the MVP right now, but hey, I'm not here to make a video about the Dallas Cowboys. I'm here to make a video about Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. Let's rave about Brock Purdy and the 49ers. For the people that want to know how Brock Purdy's been doing this year, well, he's leading the NFL in completion percentage. He's completing over 70% of his passes. He's already thrown 25 touchdowns on the year. He's only thrown 7 interceptions on the year, and he's already thrown for over 3,500 yards. He's on pace to throw for over 4,000 yards, which is something that a 49ers quarterback has not done since Jeff Garcia back in the early 2000s. But when you talk about what Brock Purdy has done, he has been what the 49ers needed at the quarterback position. Sure, is Brock Purdy perfect? No, but Brock Purdy has been pretty damn good for the San Francisco 49ers because the guy just keeps finding ways to win games all the time. He's 15-3 in his first 18 starts. That's really efficient football. You also think about the fact how he doesn't turn over the football a whole lot. That's a positive thing considering the fact that their previous starter, Jimmy Garoppolo, his biggest kryptonite was turnovers. So now they got a quarterback that doesn't turn over the football, and when you have a quarterback that doesn't turn over the football, good things are going to happen to teams that already have good defenses. Because when you talk about the San Francisco 49ers, their defense is elite. They got Chase Young, they got Nick Bosa, they got Hargrave rushing the passer, they got Fred Warner, they got Dre Greenlaw in the linebacking core, so they're really good in the front seven. I mean, you think about the fact how they are a hard-hitting team in the secondary. Sure, they're not hard-hitting in the old sense where they're going to hurt opponents, but they're hard-hitting due to the fact that they can force a lot of incompletions and that they are a team that swarms around the football, which means that they can force turnovers. And when you're a team that can force more turnovers than you turn over the football, good things are going to happen. Brock Purdy knows how to take care of the football, and not only can he take good care of the football, he knows how to throw the deep ball really well. His deep ball is really underrated. Sure, Brock Purdy might not have the arm of Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, but Brock Purdy has a pretty damn good arm. I mean, did you see some of the throws that he made yesterday against that Seahawks defense? Ooh, those were beautiful throws that Brock Purdy made, particularly the Deebo Samuel for that touchdown. Holy cow, that was a really good throw by Brock Purdy. That is a textbook example of how to throw a deep ball over the middle of the field to your best receiver on the football field, because that was beautiful to watch. Brock Purdy, he doesn't really have a lot of weaknesses whatsoever. The only weakness that I am worried about with Brock Purdy is the fact that he's not clutch, because of the fact that although he is 15-3 as an NFL starter, he only has one fourth quarter comeback to his name, and he hasn't made any fourth quarter comebacks this year. When Brock Purdy has been asked to make a game-winning drive this year, he hasn't been able to get the job done. But other than that, Brock Purdy has been really good for them. He's accurate, he throws the deep ball well, he throws the short ball extremely well. He's particularly smart with processing information of what's happening in the huddle and what's happening on the field, and he's playing in a tough Kyle Shanahan system. I know some people think that Kyle Shanahan has the easiest offensive system in the world, and although I can see where those people are coming from, it is way harder than what it looks like on the football field. You guys have to realize that Brock Purdy has to remember all the motions, all the formations, all the words that go on the play call, and then he has to go out there and execute on the football field. That is really hard to do. For a reference of how difficult a Kyle Shanahan system can be, there is a play where it takes 17 words in order to spit out a play. Ask Matt Ryan how tough that system is, and Matt Ryan is one of the smartest quarterbacks in the game of football. Obviously, you look at what Kyle Shanahan's done with Brock Purdy, truly amazing, because Brock Purdy right now is playing at a Pro Bowl caliber level. There are now 3 quarterbacks playing better than Brock Purdy in the NFC. Obviously, you want to talk about the weapons that the San Francisco 49ers have. They have them. They got Christian McCaffrey, the best running back in football. They got Deebo Samuel, an elite wide receiver. They got Brandon Aiyuk, who's possibly the best wide receiver too in the National Football League. Then they got an elite tight end, George Kittle, and they got an underrated fullback in Kyle Juszczyk. I know that Kyle Juszczyk doesn't put up a lot of stats on offense, but Kyle Juszczyk is the guy that opens up all those running lanes for Christian McCaffrey to get to, and he can serve as a check down mate for Brock Purdy to use. So when you look at this 49ers offense, they are pretty loaded. They know how to use playmakers on the outside. They know how to use their O-line effectively. Trent Williams is one of the best left tackles in all of football. They can run it, they can throw it. They don't really have any weaknesses offensively. Defensively, they're stacked as well. When you think about the 49ers in past years, you think about their elite defense, you think about their running game, you think about their head coach, and then you thought about the quarterback. But now the order has been flipped this year, because when you think about the San Francisco 49ers, you think about their weapons first, then you think about their quarterback, then you think about their defense, and then the coach. I know that Kyle Shanahan's done a really good job for the 49ers this year, but he's not the star of the show. The star of the show is Brock Purdy offensively, because he's the guy that is making all of this work. I know some people think that Brock Purdy is a system quarterback, but trust me, he is more than a system quarterback. I do think that he is on a good team, but shoot, he's taking advantage of what he has at his disposal. What do you want Brock Purdy to do? Throw interceptions? I mean, come on. Brock Purdy is doing his job at the quarterback position, because if you put Sam Darnold instead of Brock Purdy in at the quarterback position, I can guarantee you that the 49ers would not be a great offense to watch, because Sam Darnold is a turnover machine. When you look at Brock Purdy play though, he's careful with the football, but he knows when to be aggressive, and that's a good combination to have, because he's also a really smart quarterback. He's accurate, he's decisive, he's tough, he knows how to throw the deep ball really well. And you think about the fact that Brock Purdy is coming off of a serious elbow injury, and for him to be playing football like this, I mean, it's just really incredible to watch from Brock Purdy. The guy is truly a special player. He might not be the best player in the National Football League, but he is a good enough player where you can say, yeah, this guy can take the 49ers to the Super Bowl. And honestly, if the 49ers get the 1 seed, it's over for the NFC, because I don't see the Cowboys beating San Francisco at San Francisco. As for the Detroit Lions, a team that is supposedly contending for the number 1 seed, I don't think the Detroit Lions are even going to be a top 2 team in the NFC. Have you guys seen how bad the Detroit Lions have looked in recent weeks? I mean, holy cow, they get blown out to the Chicago Bears. They barely beat the Saints. They lose to the Packers on Thanksgiving, and they almost lost to the Bears at home earlier in the year. So you look at the Lions the last 4 games, you have to feel pretty queasy about them as a football team. They feel like they are a team that is waiting to lose a wild card game, because right now the Lions do not look like contenders. They look like pretenders, and that they're only going to be the number 3 seed in the NFC, because of the fact that the NFC overall is just not good whatsoever. And then of course you got the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to beat the San Francisco 49ers come playoff time, because I'm not even sure if they can get past the Dallas Cowboys in the divisional round. Because I look at the Eagles where, yes, they're 10-3 and they're playing good football, but there's a reason why it's really hard to repeat coming out of the conference 2 years in a row. And I don't think the Philadelphia Eagles are just good enough to beat the Dallas Cowboys come playoff time. And if for some reason they end up playing against the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round, or whatever the case may be, I don't think the Philadelphia Eagles are good enough to beat the 49ers. I just don't see it happening. To me, whoever gets the number 1 seed in the NFC is going to the Super Bowl this year. It's either going to be the Niners or the Cowboys in my mind. I'm looking at the 49ers schedule right now. They get to play the Cardinals at Arizona next week. Then they get to play against the Ravens on Monday Night Football. That's at home. Then they get to play at the Commanders in week 17. Then they get to finish off the season against the Rams at home. I expect the 49ers to win at least 3 out of those 4 games. They're easily going to beat the Cardinals. They're easily going to beat the Commanders, and they're going to probably beat the Rams rather comfortably. The only tough game that they have left on their schedule is the Baltimore Ravens, but who knows? Maybe they can still beat the Baltimore Ravens, because even though the Ravens are a good football team, it's not like the Baltimore Ravens have been great in tight games. But hey, let's see what happens. But ultimately, what do I believe? I believe the 49ers get the number 1 seed, and if the 49ers get the number 1 seed, they're going to the Super Bowl, plain and simple, because nobody is beating San Francisco at San Francisco. I just don't see it happening. Brock Purdy is playing some elite football. Christian McCaffrey's been running the football really well. The weapons for San Francisco are really good. Defensively, defensively, they're also very good in there as well. And their head coach is pretty good. Yeah, he might be a choke artist, but I don't even think Kyle Shanahan can mess up the roster that he has in his hands because he is a good football head coach and he is a great play call designer. The 49ers are just simply too good, top to bottom. You look at quarterback, running back, receivers, whatever position you want to say, they're just really good in there. So that is why Brock Purdy will take the 49ers to the Super Bowl. Although the 49ers will have to end up getting the 1 seed in the NFC in order for my prediction to be correct. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the Dustin Tran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Dustin Tran and at Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter at Dustin Tran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.